Hi folks, today I've got a Lumintop GT Nano to have a look at. Comes in this really nice well padded box, and inside what we have, I'll show you last the torch itself, a few spares, a clip if we want it, a lanyard if we want it, this little device here which I'll show you in a moment, and let's have a look at the torch. Look at that. Next to an AA battery. That is just tiny. Right, if that's not small enough, look at the battery. Tiny little thing. I mean, I didn't even know such a thing existed, but they do, and you can get spares, which, as you can see, I've got quite a few there. And how you actually charge this, you put it back into the tail of the light. Oh, hang on a second. Take that little protection off the charge head there. Screw that back on. Connect your USB. Get it the right way. There we go. Red obviously for charging, and when it's fully charged it'll turn green. Be careful not to lose that bit on the top there. That's the kind of thing that I'd always lose, and I'd be ferreting around trying to find it. As I screw up the torch, I'll just blink a couple of times for me to tell me that connection has been made. And it's a really simple, by factory default, one click on and set to its ramping mode, maximum there of 450 lumens, and then back down again. Now, the one thing that jumped into my mind as soon as this arrived, or as soon as I saw it, was, is this kind of like going to be a little bit of a gimmicky type light? You know, it's a, let's see who can make the smallest light, and you know, but it's not really actually much practical use. And I'll take it out and I will show you how it performs outdoors in a moment. Very well, actually, surprisingly well. And also the next question is, how long is it actually going to last? Now, I got just over 25 minutes off one charge, running it at its maximum. And only its maximum, it does step down ever so slightly. Excuse me, it does step down ever so slightly during use. But I'll put on the end of the video there, because I don't think you believe me unless you saw it with your own eyes. And what I've done, I've basically turned it on its maximum mode, and I've timed it, and I've put the lux meter next to it, so you can see exactly how long it ran for and how well it held its power for. So I'll stick that on the end if you don't believe me, and let's have a quick look at the manual before we take the light out. And this again, to me, is kind of on the subject of you know, how usable is this light? Is it actually practical to use? And it's a fully, tiny little manual, of course, but fully featured and goes through absolutely everything with it. And as you can see, there's quite a lot to be going through, which I'm not going to go through all this with you now, other than touch on a couple of the basics. So it's fully programmable, and that we can have our ramping mode, our non-ramping mode. We can enable blinkies, we can turn the blinkies off, we can change the way the temperature regulation works. All manner of things there that we can have a mess about with. So you can fully customize this light to however you want. I've been using it now for 3 or 4 nights, and I haven't found the need to tinker around with anything, to be honest with you. I've just left it as it is, or was, which is, as mentioned, just the one click on with the ramping mode. So without any further ado, I shall take it out and show you how well it performs. Hi folks, I've got the GT Nano. Let's start off on its highest mode, so you get the full impact of what it's actually like. And I don't know about you, but I think for 450 lumens, that is just absolutely amazing. with a reasonable amount of spill. Move that out of the way. We're cutting quite well into the distance there, isn't it? As I said, with a reasonable peripheral light on there. But the distance, look at that. Let's bring it a bit closer. I'll turn off and back on again and just ramp down and then back up again. And as you can see, that's a really fast ramp. I don't think that full blast turbo mode is completely necessary, is it? I mean, let's put it on a little bit more of a moderate setting. You're losing a bit of the peripheral spill, but the distance is still there. And you saw the run times that no, you won't have seen the run times. I put that on the end of the video. I filmed the run times before I came out. You will see the run times, and they're pretty decent. And that was the only thing that I was kind of worried about a little bit with this light. Needlessly so. I think now, and with the benefit of hindsight, is with such a tiny little thing, how useful is it actually going to be? And hopefully you can see from this, extremely useful if you need something pretty small that you can pop in your pocket with that type of performance. Right folks, catch you soon. Hey folks, I've decided to just pop back to the Nano for a second and ask myself at this familiar spot, which you'll recognise in a minute, can it do 100 metres? Yes, it can. Let me find my little zoomy thing. Get it back on target. 100 metres. How impressive is that? Can I? Oh, there we go. I've pushed my luck too far. You saw those blinks. That was the battery warning kicking in for me. I'll see if I can squeeze a bit more out of it. Yeah, it's doing it. Not much spill. Well, never ceases to amaze me what you can get out of a flashlight nowadays. I mean, you know, 100 metres on that tiny little thing. I will clear off at that now, and I'll get on with some of the other lights. Thanks folks. So let's have a quick test of the runtime. I've put the lux meter there as well, so you can see any changes in power. I'll just get it up to maximum output. What are we reading on the lux meter? So 77 we're starting off with, and we'll just leave it going and see how long it lasts for. The three little blinks, that's the battery warning starting to kick in. So when you see that, Okay, folks, I'll turn it off there at that. Let me just ramp up to full power there and just quickly show you the temperature. Okay, I better turn that off. I found that pretty remarkable, to be honest. What are we on there? 27 minutes. But it's held pretty well, hasn't it, overall, in particular for that length of time. You certainly wouldn't expect it, would you, from such a tiny little thing with really great output and minuscule little battery in there. But we got the first battery warning was at 12 minutes. And then we had 3 in a row at 16 minutes for some strange reason. One at 17, one at 19, one at 21, 24 and 26 were our battery warnings. And overall, I'm really pleased and very surprised with that.